thoroughbred Mike Tyson hovers over his new audience like Mount Fuji. His month-long stay in Japan has been a three-ring media circus as the Japanese wanted to see this giant of a visitor up close. But even kabuki theater requires a dramatic foil, so Tony Tubbs has likewise journeyed around the world. And though he is in no way capturing Japanese hearts like the champion, he is nevertheless in Tokyo with a purpose. Too often, Tubbs' body has borrowed from his name. But if this is the trimmer version of the former WBA champion, Tony Tubbs could be a respectable challenger. So we bring you live now to one of the most vibrant and intriguing cities on the planet, Tokyo, Japan, a city whose people have maintained a jump on the future along with the customs of centuries past. A magnificent setting for a World Heavyweight Championship as Mike Tyson defends against Tony Tubbs. In the middle of this vast city sits a 5-day-old 65,000-seat dome stadium which the Japanese refer to as the Big Egg. And now we are live in Korakuen Stadium in Tokyo, Japan as HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. Undisputed heavyweight champion Mike Tyson defends his crown against former champion Tony Tubbs in a bout scheduled for 12 rounds. This first major international event in this new stadium follows in a series of appearances which have and will be made here by Western superstars. Both Madonna and Michael Jackson recently began world tours in Tokyo. Mick Jagger will be in here tomorrow night. Today, and we should point out that it is noon Monday here, the Japanese spotlight falls on the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. Hello, I'm Jim Lampley, and I will be commenting on this boxing match along with HBO's two boxing experts, Ray Leonard and Larry Merchant. Ray, let's talk first about the growing stardom and celebrity of Mike Tyson. How do you see it affecting him at age 21?
Well, Jim, I think it depends on the personalities. For me, I enjoy the adulations and the accolades from the fans and supporters. But the way I perceive Mike Tyson, he's a guy that doesn't particularly care for the attention. It won't get to him because he's a young man, very determined young man, who's able to shut the world out because when he fights, he's always on a mission.
Indeed, he told a press conference and us here a few days ago that wherever he fights is his home. He is here only to do a job. And Larry Merchant, precisely how difficult is Tony Tubbs likely to make that job for him?
Jim, I'd like to say that he has a slim chance of winning, but that would be anatomically inaccurate. It's a fat chance that he might win. But let's keep in mind that the Japanese promoters handpicked him as the opponent because they felt, of all the contenders out there, that he had the best chance to extend the fight with the champion. And they don't want to be embarrassed as they were 15 years ago when George Foreman ended it in 2 minutes. Tony Tubbs indeed does have boxing skills. His problem is that at age 30, his attitude is much like it was at age 13 when he was wandering around the neighborhood in Cincinnati with gloves slung over his shoulder, challenging guys to fight him for $5 or $10. They look at this pudgy kid and say, sure, and then he'd whip their butt. But I don't think that will work against Mike Tyson.
What will probably work would be if Tubbs could manage to be very busy during the fight, but this has already been a very busy period of time for Mike Tyson, who got married on February 7th. And then very shortly after that, departed the United States and came here to Tokyo to fulfill a promise he made to the Japanese people back in 1986.
When I become the heavyweight champ, I would love to come to Japan and defend my title. And I look forward very much to being there and meeting all the great people in Japan. Bye.
And 2 years later, the journey has begun. Not since George Foreman KO'd Joe Roman in 1973 has a World Heavyweight Championship fight taken place in Tokyo. Within 2 hours of the champion's arrival here, Tyson Mania was in full cry.
So I really would like thank you graciously to invite me to your country, and I look forward to giving you a good show.
Immediately, the realization that the experiences of this fight would be like none other before it.
No one speaks English.
In the days that followed, millions of Japanese seemed totally mesmerized by the American champs. It was as if Godzilla, the movie monster of the 1950s, had returned to Tokyo. No.
世界ヘビー級チャンピオンマイク・タイソンの来日3日目の様子をご覧いただきましょう。
ごめんなさい。
Here the heavyweight champion's every move has been watched and followed. Even at 4 o'clock in the morning, photographers waited for the chase for one more picture opportunity.
It's scary. I don't mind being the champ of the world and getting the attention I get in America, but you know, this is a whole different dimension once you leave your country and you're a bigger star in other countries than you are in your own country. I mean, it's frightening to me. It is, you know what I mean? Because I didn't never want to be a superstar. I just wanted to be the champion of the world.
In the beginning, most Japanese knew little about Mike Tyson. But as each day passed here, he became exactly the center of attention he claimed he didn't want to be.
そうですね。なかなかやはり世界的に名声を発するだけあって。
マイク・タイソンはセクシーだと思います。
Giant. He is a symbol of the United States.
できればとっても素晴らしいマイク・タイソンと一度デートしてみたいです。
めっちゃ強いん違うんかな。とにかく今世界の中で一番強いと思うけど。
Even the children found a way to get into the action. So on the first day tickets went on sale, 80% of them were sold.
想像した以上にすごかった。
Whether an autograph, a photograph, or just a brief touch, everyone wanted a piece of the champion destroyer from the West.
I don't feel bad. I feel like I left Earth and went to another planet. I never experienced anything like that before in my life. Around a bunch of people just floundered around me, and they were so excited to just be around me. It was an experience I don't know if I will experience again. I feel everyone should know who the world champion is. And in my mind, before I ever traveled to another country to fight in a world championship contest, I thought, yeah, everyone should know the champion of the world. But God, man, I would have took second thoughts if I knew it had been like this.
And this was just the beginning. The new bride's arrival only added more fuel to what was already the hottest story in town. But the biggest story was the day Mike Tyson met one of Japan's greatest sumo wrestlers, Konishiki. Outweighed by 300 pounds, Tyson was hardly the heavyweight in this ring. Nor could he imagine how he might become heavier from the sumo's customary meal.
How can you get big off this? I eat stuff like this, training. I eat things like this when I'm on my diet.
In a matter of days, Mike Tyson captured the hearts of millions. As celebrity to some, as temporary inspiration to others, his journey had just begun.
In every champion's reign, some part in his particular career, he goes through that stage when all attention in the world is focused on him. And I think this is my time.
Here on this national holiday, vernal equinox day in Tokyo, a large